Joy and Pain with the Tonys. It's been a while. Gave you a couple weeks, take a break to catch up on our shows, but we're back and we're so excited to be back. I want to remind you all to like, comment, share, and if you have not already, subscribe to our channel. Tell everybody you know about our channel and then ask them to subscribe as well. Babe, you want to tell us about our topic for the day?
So I think we're going to touch on what's been going on in society as of recent with all the social injustice, things that's impacting our people, black people. I don't know if the best correct term, people of color, but that's just facing us in the United States and across the world. And we're going to share some different stories, personal experience, and just kind of dig into that a little bit because we think that's a great topic. Not even just saying a great topic, but think it's something that needs to be discussed.
And that affects the black family.
Yes, and we have black young men, and the experiences I've had, some of the experiences she's had, not just always with police, but the society, work, and things like that. So we'll share some of that, and we'll just talk about some things. So I'll kick off with just, what's going on in society right now. I love what's happening with the change that is happening, of recognition of companies, different political systems, and different people realizing black people were treated wrong for such a long time in America,
and continue to
and we still are being treated wrongfully, and it's just amazing that it took George Floyd, and he's not a martyr, and it happened to him for people to wake up, and it happened to him for white people to realize this, who's the most influential and powerful people to help us make the change. And it just was so sad to watch that. I don't want to bring it up, but that happened, and people woke up and they started to realize that this stuff is wrong. And just his one incident is just a showcase of the hundreds of thousands of people in America that happens to. And society,
for hundreds of years.
Yes, for years, and we didn't record it, or even if we did record, we go back to Rodney King, that's recorded, and nothing happened.
Right.
And we're tired. It's draining. You got to go to work with a smile on your face like nothing just happened to somebody that you either could have known, that you're close to, or that you take it in as just being a black person, and you got to dismiss it. And I'm not saying you do purposely dismiss it, but you just got to act like nothing's wrong. You got to perform at your best at work, still perform better than others at work. You got to go to different social gatherings, school, and act like nothing just happened. And I think we're tired of it.
Yeah, and again, we're not counselors or therapists or have degrees in psychology, but I do know trauma. And there needs to be an acknowledgement that what black people deal with on a daily basis is trauma. It's traumatic.
It's real.
And it is real, and it's affecting our families. It's affecting us. It's affecting marriages. It's affecting mental health, and it needs to be acknowledged and addressed. And it's tearing us down physically and mentally and emotionally. We are dying at higher rates because of stress and other stressors that our white counterparts do not experience. And so that has to be acknowledged. It has to be addressed because, and one of the reasons why we're talking about it on our show, even though we talk about marriage, it affects us. It affects families, and it has for decades, for years, when we were stripped from our families, when our spouses and our children were pulled away from us and sold away from us. Since then, it has affected the structure of the black family.
Yes.
And so that is why it is so important to address this today.
Definitely. And I'll share some personal experience. I'll give a work one, I'll give something with police involvement. But so with work, I got a degree, I was told to get extra degrees and get a master's, and just the systematic oppression that we deal with work. Seeing the hierarchy structure, seeing the nepotism. I worked for a company that was an aerospace company here in Wichita, Kansas, and I saw so much nepotism for white people, the favoritism. People that probably didn't even have experience like I did, didn't have the education that I did, get promoted quickly, you get ignored. I had a manager that was the worst manager at that company. And I don't know what type of bone he had to pick with me. I'm gonna call it racism, because I literally would have someone else do the report that was white, and I would turn it in, and he would say, "There's something's wrong with this. I don't like it. Go redo it, bring it back, and it's okay." But that same person would turn in his reports on a regular basis. Nothing was wrong with his report. So he tried to get my annual reviews to degrade me and say I wasn't a up to par employee. I didn't deserve to be there. I wasn't an asset to the company. And it took a black man that was higher up to take a chance on me and give me the true opportunity and the growth that I had and the potential that I had to continue to grow. But I was growing before that. I had that manager, and I was excelling. I was doing things with the company, outside of the company, being recognized. I get this manager coming in, and everything just went downhill. I never had butt heads with them. I didn't do anything to this man, but it was that type of stuff I noticed that was racism. If we go to HR and say something, it's pulling a black card, and they start to retaliate. So I did not. When he tried to give me a bad review on my annual review, I said, "This is enough is enough." I pulled in the union. I went to HR. They didn't even go to bat for me because they said I didn't come early enough. And so it's like you learn the stuff that you got to do. I'll even share a story of just having to deal with police. My wife was with me. I think we might have mentioned that. I was driving, leaving my friend's house, her nephew, and her brother is a sheriff. At the time, he was a sheriff. His sheriff's car is in the driveway. We back out the driveway. It is late early in the morning, like 1 o'clock in the morning. And
he was in a Lincoln.
Yeah.
Let's call it what it is.
Yeah.
It was racial profiling.
A nice car.
In a nice Lincoln, tinted windows, rims, and black man.
But we're on the west side of town, which is predominantly white. I mean, everything in Wichita is predominantly white unless you live in a black neighborhood. Backed out the driveway. I saw the cop at the stop sign, and you got to drive through a maze in the neighborhood. I go there, start following all the rules of driving, stopping, going less than 20, taking my time. It took him barely 2 minutes to pull us over.
It wasn't even that.
Then asking us questions. What was he asking?
Where you going? Where you been? We tell him we just left my brother's house, who's a sheriff.
Tell him the story.
Tell him, we tell him we were hanging out there, and he tells us, he says, well, we got a call of suspicious behavior.
I said,
and you seem suspicious. I pulled you over because you seem suspicious.
And then, no suspicion. We even got our nephew involved. We said, "Hey, come by here, man. This cop is bothering us." He comes by. He's like, "I'll check on my dad." The cop lets us go because he really knew he was profiling. Had nothing to do anything with the stop. We leave. I call the police station next day for the West Side. His name was Officer Whiteman. I cannot forget it.
The irony.
The irony of his last name here in Wichita. And the police said that we don't have cases of racial profiling. That's a lie. He wouldn't have, I don't care if you have suspicious activity. If you saw what I did, I followed all the whatever. If I was just driving suspiciously, you didn't even tell me. He didn't tell me that.
He never gave us the reason
And so,
other than we were suspicious.
Yeah, suspicious activity. So those stories, it happens to us too often.
And we later found out that he was known for pulling people over, racial profiling.
He's a racial
we later
profiler.
found that out.
And that stuff happens. And so my stories, I got other stories, but I'll let my wife bring up some information and share some of her stuff. But it's just, you get tired of it. You get tired of it. The work, outside of work, you just don't win being a black person. You could say it's not worse for black, it's bad, period, for us all. And we get tired of it. We're just tired. And I feel for my sons.
I remember I had shared this actually. We had a discussion with my job, my organization, and the very first time I remember experiencing racism, I was a little girl. And many times you have these conversations with white people, and a lot of times they don't have experiences until college, maybe high school, college, or adulthood. But I was a little girl, and I loved to act, sing, and dance, and I got chosen to be in a commercial. And it was me, 2 other black kids, and everybody else was white. It was for a local channel here. They were doing a news commercial, or a weather commercial. And we shoot, we film. I was looking cute. I was like, I'm gonna be the next star. And the commercial airs, and I'm not in it. I think the back of my head at one point, and I could not understand why I was not in this commercial. And my mother had to explain, it's more than likely, baby, it's because you're black. Me nor the other black kids were in this commercial. And so as I fast forward through my life, the different experiences of being followed in the store because I'm a young black girl, being accused, not accused, but being looked at as if I'm stealing. And then getting into times where I have to speak on behalf of my race in my college classes because I went to a predominantly white campus, and being tired of having to speak on behalf. Every time a black issue happened, they turn around and look at Natalie, the black girl, and she has to speak on behalf of the black race. But I think for me, when I really started feeling the frustrations of the daily just bull, was when I started my professional career. And hair is a big thing. As a black woman, hair is a huge thing. If you know me, you know that for several years, I had a different hairstyle maybe every other week. And while in my profession, I was the youngest person. Sometimes in certain meetings, I was one of few, if not the only black person or person of color. And so I didn't always feel like I could be my authentic self. And so when I would change my hair up, I'd go talk to somebody and they'd forget who are you again? And I say, I'm Natalie. We've met like twice, 3 times. We've been in meetings, and they say, oh, you look different. Did you do something? Did you change your hair? And this happened quite often. And it's like, my face didn't change. My hair might have changed, but my face never changed. I'm the same person. I talk the same. I'm shaped the same. My face is the same. And I had to always like prove myself, and people would forget. And I remember I wanted to dye my hair blonde. And at the time, me and my boss were pretty close, and I go to her and I say, so I want to dye my hair blonde. What do you think? And she flat out was like, Natalie, as a woman of color, I don't think it's smart. It's not a good move for you to dye your hair blonde, because they're not going to look at you the same. They're not going to respect you the same. And so it was then where I was just like, damn, I can't even be my authentic self at work. I come every day, I work hard. I can't even be me when I want to be me. And my hair is a part of who I am. And so feeling judged. Now I went ahead and did the blonde, but it was a fight within myself of, can I still be professional and be me? Because so many times being black or black mannerisms or a black look or black woman is not professional, or the way that we speak or certain things that we do or the things that we wear is not professional. And so it's unfortunate that we've had to live these double lives. You hear about code switching, and it's tiring to code switch.
You shouldn't have to do that.
You shouldn't have to. You should have to be. You should feel free being who you want to be.
And then when you think about the family aspect of it, like I could think about our first years of marriage. We didn't even talk about the racial stuff that would happen to us, the stories about each other. We knew about incidences that happened, but I'm glad this stuff. The climate is making us talk more about it. And we knew having raising black boys, we talk about it more often, because we try to tell them. They're young and impressionable, but we try to tell them, you got to notice stuff like this, son. And it's sad that we've had to talk with them already, and we've got to still have to talk with them, because they still want to go back out and have fun, and then they kind of forgot that aspect of the talk. And the talk we talk about is surviving as a black man, as a black child, because you are looked at as a cute black child all the way till you turn 11. Then you're this grotesque thug to these white people. Because I can go to the store, I have the cutest boys in the world to these white people.
They always say, they're
He's
so
adorable,
cute.
they're so cute.
And we'll tease when we get back in the car.
No, that ain't cute. Stop saying that.
And when we get back in the car, we always are just like, yeah, they're cute until they become a preteen or a teenager. Correct. And you're intimidated by them. And we have to teach them how to not be intimidating, how to make you feel comfortable instead of just being their authentic selves. And that is what's frustrating and it's scary. The fact that we have to teach our sons at such a young age, look, you can't wear that when you get older, or you have to talk this way so that you don't scare people, or even just now, because some of those conversations we haven't even had yet, but even just now trying to explain when we're on our social media or they see the things that are happening, well, why, mommy, are they killing people that are black? Like, trying to help 5 and 7-year-olds comprehend that because your skin is a certain color, people don't like you.
That's sad.
They don't get that. They can't understand that. And they're like, well, why? Why, mommy?
It creates the divide for them early on. So when they go to school, they like, well, I know not to associate with these people or try to distance a certain way or move, because they got to navigate and they have to really etch themselves and tiptoe around them. And the white people don't worry about it. Their kids don't worry about it. They don't have no talks with them, and they don't have to. And I implore, if I got white listeners, talk to your kids now about stuff. Talk about the talk that we have.
Yeah.
And say, hey, black kids get this talk, and I guys want you to understand
the privilege that you have.
Whatever you have, it's not the same for us.
One day I was overhearing the kids playing, and our youngest, Ethan, said, no, police, you're not gonna get us, you're not gonna kill us. And I continued to listen to them play, and the police were the bad guys. You know, kids play good guys, bad guys. The police, who are supposed to be the people who kids look up to and kids look to as safety. It broke my heart to hear them play that way. And the fact that already at this age that they are being influenced the way that they are because of what's happening in our country, to where they have that distrust. And it's sad. Another thing that I was going to address was, the other thing that white people don't have to experience, although every mother will always experience when your child goes out, they're hanging out or something, just the safety of their child. But another thing is, for me, the other night I found myself praying hard. I was in the bed, Cedric was out, and it was late, and I was praying, God, just please bring him back. Okay. Because white women don't have to pray that for their white spouses. That the police not shoot them, or that they not be killed due to the color of his skin. Yeah. And again, I go back to the stress that is put on the black family, the black mother, the black wife, the black father, the black grandmother, the black whatever, the stresses of being black and our safety and the distrust. That is what is affecting us as well. And I don't think that is talked about enough. And that influence of that foundation of our black family.
And so I think for our family, some of the main things we're going to do going forward is continue to educate our kids. And you do get tired of it.
You do.
But I'd rather be tired of doing that than tired of something else. It's worth having the continuous talks. it's worth showing. My wife had a great idea talking about once a week do educational Black history, because they're not going to learn the true Black history.
They're not going to learn it, so we have to teach
So
them.
you have to teach your children the true Black history. Teach them your stories too. Too many times Black families don't even share their own personal history. I don't know my parents' true history or my grandparents' true, and I need to go back to my parents and get that. But we need to share history, share the truth, share the history of the country with Black people to your children so they understand. It makes them a little bit more knowledgeable, because the school system is not going to do it. So educate yourselves, educate your families, educate your children, have a plan, tell them about true Black history, and don't forget it. Don't forget your history.
Because it's American history.
Yeah.
That's the point that our entire country is missing.
It's American history.
It's American history. We built this country. It's American history.
Yeah. We understand we're tired. We understand what's going on. We understand the impact to our family. We understand the impact to our marriage, and it needs to keep getting talked about, because I don't want it to die off. And I noticed it too many times in the past. It'll get talked about and then dies off. And we needed to keep going. We need justice for Breonna Taylor. We need justice for all these people that have not received justice, and the people that have committed crimes against them must be taken to court and be punished. So I appreciate you guys taking up the time to listen to this. Do you have any other thoughts, words you want to share?
No.
Like I said, this could be 2 or 3 parts, and we know it's a lot. It's a real heavy subject, but it needs to be talked about.
It does.
And we wanted to bring that up on this episode.
And we felt compelled to address it.
So we definitely appreciate you guys watching. Remember to like, comment, share, subscribe to our channel, watch our previous videos.
Our Black business highlight for today is my home girl, Whitney Tolliver, who I've known since middle school, 6th grade. We've been friends since 6th grade. Actually, we went to preschool together. Didn't know. I did have some extra shirts. I'm gonna get them.
She's gonna grab the extra
So, her company is Love Sassy Pearl. We'll put the information on there, but I'll show you a couple shirts. She was supposed to give me a pink and green shirt like this, but she was out of the pink and green. So, but she has all kind of colors. There's this shirt, sometimes sassy and always classy.
Good quality of them.
Yeah, and it's really nice quality. This one says, pray now, watch God later, I believe. Yeah. Is that what it says? I can't read backwards. Watch God work. I can't read backwards. Watch God work. And then this shirt I think is so cute, talking about the ingredients of a Black queen. This is one of my favorite ones. That's why I put it on today. I can't read backwards, so I'm gonna let y'all read it. But it's, I'll put the information. Lord, I'm losing my mind. I'll put the information in the description for you guys.
It's great that that's one of her friends. She gets to promote one of her friends. It's a Black business.
Yes.
And we continue to do that, but it's just better when it's one of your friends. Support your Black friends' businesses. Don't ask for hookups. Just support them.
Yeah.
And buy their products and services. And one of these days we'll have a link to all the Black businesses that we shared and other ones that we may not share as well, so you guys have that information. But thank you once again. So it's gonna be some joy and pain, like sunshine
and rain. Thank you, Black love.
Black love. Have fun.